again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Frankie Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Frankie Rose.
Good morning, everybody. So we have got an update from the Jackson Beach, Florida. The police are giving an update on the active shooter that's going on now. So let's take a look at this. My keyboard still is not working. I'm going to buy a new one this morning. So this is what I've got. I'll update titles and everything at that point.
This news conference will be posted on Facebook Live and also on our website for reference. First and foremost, I'd like you to remember there was at least one innocent victim struck by gunfire last night, and one person lost their life last night. So I'd like y'all to remember them throughout this press conference. I would like to thank first and foremost Sheriff T.K. Waters, State Attorney Nelson, St. Johns County Sheriff Robert Hardwick, FDLE, SAC, Mike Williams, ATF Special Agent in charge, Kirk Howard, and our perennial mutual aid partners, Neptune Beach Police Department Chief Mike Key and Atlantic Beach Police Department Chief Vic Guillo. Thank you to the law enforcement officers from those agencies also that came to our assistance last night, and the leaders for each of them, who each of those personally contacted me last night by phone when I was on the scene. They continue to offer any help as needed, and I will be taking them up on that most likely. Most of all, I'd like to thank the Jacksonville Beach Police Department staff who handled those incidents last night with professionalism, dedication, and courage. Without their efforts, I believe loss of life would have been greater. I have the best staff in the country. Earlier this week, one of our intel analysts identified possible gathering of juveniles underneath the pier planned for yesterday, Sunday at 2 p.m. Anywhere from 250 to 400 juveniles in their late teens arrived at that location. Because of the intelligence information, we proactively had officers assigned to this group. This group engaged in boxing matches, fights, and other incidents, and Jacksonville Beach Police Department had to take action and disperse the crowd. When the crowd was dispersed, that's when the shootings happened. We had, of course, extra personnel already working because we received intelligence concerning this incident. In addition to this, we had TPC, St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and the regular Sunday beach crowd, and the roadways were packed. Because of the high-profile nature of this incident last night, in addition to national media coverage and public interest concerning this topic, I'm sharing as much information with you as possible. I cannot emphasize the chaotic nature of the incident last night. We are currently working with 3 separate, unrelated shootings. At this time, there are the details believed to have occurred. Any information is gathered, things may change. I'm telling you, this is only a few hours old. We're giving you the best information we have right now. And I'll emphasize once again, some of this may change. The initial shooting took place in the 400 block of the boardwalk just east of the Best Western Hotel at approximately 7:50 p.m. Officers were already present on scene and on view the shooting, and therefore the response time was 0. We had officers on the scene. As a result, their response time was 0 seconds, like I said. They had immediately attempted to apprehend the suspects and immediately rendered medical aid to the victims' suspects. At approximately 8:13 p.m., officers on viewed a male running by a bar who displayed a pistol and fired a shot. A foot chase ensued, and during the chaos in the downtown area, the suspect eluded officers. That's scene number 2. At 8:31 hours, we responded to a shooting behind Sneakers Bar. I had command staff on the scene who heard the gunfire. I had a Atlantic Beach police officer that almost went on scene immediately. Once again, our response time was a mere seconds. At this time, I decided, based on multiple shooters unknown, multiple victims unknown, to issue an active threat alert to our reverse 911, lock down all bars, and immediately evacuate the downtown area because of the unknown circumstances of the shooter. Last night, once the bars were locked down, our main priority was to secure the crime scenes and escort all innocent civilians from the area and from lockdown businesses. Huge task on a Sunday night in Jacksonville Beach on what was basically a holiday. Lock everybody in place. We had to evacuate everybody and clear the streets and look for possible shooters or more suspects. Before we could investigate any crime scenes, we had to establish and maintain security of the crime scenes and the downtown area, while also looking for the suspect or suspects. Our Jacksonville Beach Police Department SWAT team was also requested to assist with searches for any outstanding suspects and to escort patrons from businesses. Many of the SWAT team members were already working on scene, working their primary duties, whether it be detectives or police officers or supervisors. At 8:34 p.m., we called in all crime scene investigators, all detectives, all SWAT team members, and all command staff. Additionally, the city manager and mayor responded once the scene was secure for immediate response and briefing. I would also like to take this time to thank the mayor and city manager. They showed up last night at my request. They have been nothing but helpful and supportive, and they remain so to this moment, and they're sitting right up front here with me. I can't tell you how much it meant to me for them to come to the scene last night and check on me, check on my guys and girls, and to be there for us like they always are. And I'd like to thank them personally, along with other city council members. At this time, all scenes have been cleared. However, investigation continues. Once again, this is multiple suspects and multiple scenes, pistol and rifle caliber weapons down on the ground. 2 of these firearms have been recovered. Summary: those injured involved in the shooting last night are the following. First incident at the Best Western, 3 people in totality were injured or shot. 2 were transported by rescue, and 1 later self-reported to Mayo and was transported to Shands. 2 are in serious condition, 1 is in stable condition. I'll release suspect information in a minute. So the first shooting, 2 victim suspects shoot at each other. They are wounded and are in serious condition, surgery. 1 victim, the third, was a complete innocent bystander who was visiting from out of town. He's in serious condition, was hit 3 times last night by gunfire. The suspect is, one suspect is a tall, thin black male that's still outstanding, and that's all I can release at this moment. We have no ID on him right now, though. So once again, 3 people in totality. We believe at this time that the first 2 victims were shooting at each other, and they're both victim suspects at this time. The third person was an innocent civilian from out of town visiting the hotel, was struck by gunfire. So I got 3 in serious condition, but stable at hospitals on incident 1. Incident 2, no injuries, no one hit by gunfire. The suspect who eluded officers is a tall, thin black male with a ski mask. We've recovered a pistol from scene 2. The third incident, behind Sneakers Bar and Grill in the unit block of First Street North. The victim is deceased, is a black male, 21 years of age. Next of kin has been notified. On the third call, from what we're getting from witnesses, there was some kind of disturbance. 3 suspects, all black males, presented firearms. Only 1 person shot their firearm, And that is, the description on that suspect is tall, thin, 6 foot tall black male with a short beard. That's all we have on that. And the other two suspects that pull firearms but not fire are also black male suspects. We have no further information on that. We are reviewing multiple videotapes. We will take anything we can get from social media, from the police, from tipsters. You can contact us at 247 904-270-1661. Ask for a detective, ask for the detective section, reference the incidents from last night, or you can always call Crime Stoppers. We'll also take any social media that you can send us that you're aware of that's out there now. With that said, I'm going to take some questions. We'll go one at a time. Go ahead, Tanya.
Did you have a question for us?
Liza, you have
Do you
anything?
have any questions?
There was reports of officer firing.
We had no officer-involved shooting last night. We have no officers, once we accounted for everyone that discharged their weapons. We probably could have an amazing restraint. Officers were concerned about background and the thousands of people running around down there on sidewalks and stuff. Rest assured, though, if they would have presented, the suspects would have met the deadly force criteria, we would have applied that deadly force if we could have, to defend the lives of ourselves or innocent civilians. Any other questions? No officer-involved shooting last night. Any for you? You can, Liza, I'll come back to you. Yes, ma'am.
Were any of the shooters arrested?
No, we have not made any arrests at this time. We're still working on the investigation. Tommy, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We'll work our way back around if you got additional. Yes. Yes, sir.
So, is it believed that any of these shootings are gang related at this time?
One of the suspects that self-reported on incident 1 is a certified gang member through the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. On incident 1, he self-reported to the hospital. Yes, sir.
Is it possible that one of the suspects could have been involved in all 3 of these incidents?
From what we can tell at this time, no. We believe they're unrelated based on the first 2 suspects were hit and transported by rescue or self-reported to the hospital. The second shooting scene, the foot chase proceeded north from a local bar away from location of number 3, complete opposite direction. We had a perimeter set and we're actively looking for 2 when 3 occurred. We don't believe this time they made their way back and the descriptions are a little different. So we believe they're all unrelated and there wasn't one shooter. Yes.
Do we believe that all of the shooters were out of town, or do you think some of them were based locally?
Out of town, out of Jacksonville Beach or out of Jacksonville?
Were they visiting into the area, or do you think they were all here just on vacation?
I don't know at this time. As best we can tell, they're not citizens of Jacksonville Beach. Unknown if they're residents of Jacksonville or Duval County at this time. That's preliminary. So that's all I have on suspect. I've been contacted by previously before this with the big break on push on spring break enforcement. We had received no solid intelligence from our people or from state agencies or JSO that we were receiving any overflow from down south, if that was your question. Best we can tell, we've received no overflow from any other spring break locations close by. So we can only assume, and it's a very thin assumption, that these are all local Duval County or in the area, Northeast Florida residents. We just have received nothing online to indicate the overflow from down south. Yes, sir.
Chief, can you be a little clearer on where scene 2 is as opposed to just in front of a bar? And then secondly, you guys secured and seized a vehicle last night, a blue vehicle out of a parking lot. for processing, I guess. Is that possibly one of our suspects' vehicles?
I'll answer the first one first. So the first scene is the 400 block Boardwalk Hotel. You got that. Scene 2 is the north parking lot of local bar, the Ritz. This had nothing to do with the establishment, someone running through. So that's number 2 location. The Ritz bar parking lot. Number 3 location is Sneakers behind the parking lot. So when you're looking at everything today, you'll be able to kind of see when you go down there. I'm sure you'll be able to kind of get a view of what we were looking at last night.
The actual Ritz parking lot or that parking lot adjacent to it to the north?
It's kind of a continuation from the city parking lot into their parking lot.
So heading south then, in that.
Heading west into their parking lot from the city parking lot.
To the east.
Okay.
So, and this was a continuous foot chase.
Sure.
So, yes.
And then the vehicle.
Oh, the vehicle.
The vehicle was taken, the victim's vehicle, and for safekeeping, we secured the victim's vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Chief, the fact that one person who had nothing to do with this situation was killed in this incident, I mean, I just want to know, how's your heart feeling right now?
For the victims, of course, always, because people come to the city to enjoy themselves. They live here, they visit here, and quite frankly, I'm pissed off. If we have a reputation out here as a law and order city. I'm a law and order police chief. I have complete support of my city council, my city management. I don't think any of y'all that know me, y'all would have the misconception that I'm nothing but a law and order police chief. For those of y'all out there that know me. And this goes back 30 years. And like I've always said, I want you to come to Jacksonville Beach. I want you to live here. I want you to visit. But if you break the law, we're going to put you in jail. And some people may need some reminders of that, and that'll be forthcoming in the next few weeks. That's been our reputation, and we will consistently uphold that reputation. You need to go somewhere else. If you're going to commit a crime, don't come here. And fair warning for future, if you're going to commit a crime, once again, for the 3rd time, don't come here and then whine about being arrested or detained, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our jobs. Okay?
Yes, sir. I understand that you're giving a warning out to the people who might want to act up in Jax Beach. But reassure the people who want to visit Jax Beach, who want to have that good time at the bars and beaches, reassure their safety real quick.
Good question. We are statistically safe, a safe city. Our challenge is for 25,000 residents, we have to police a population much bigger on any given day of the week, any day of the year. Statistically, even with that huge influx, we are very safe. I mean, there's been articles, the Daily Beast per capita, we're the busiest beach in 2008, we're the busiest beach in the country with 8 million estimated visitors. So when you start to look at the stats, we're safe, but we also, if we don't make people feel safe, what are we doing? We have to make people feel safe. If you travel 15 blocks or 20 blocks away, yesterday, it was a quiet Sunday afternoon. So I will reiterate that, once again, we are safe with all the population influx we got every weekend. This is a one-off, but it's going to happen. It's a game of numbers. If you have 100 people visiting your city a year, and pull this number out of the air, 2% are criminals. You only have a couple. If you have 8 million people visiting your city a year, and 2% are criminals, you got a lot. So our challenge is to police this population that we get a large influx with. But I live in the city. I feel safe in the city. I think we have the best police department in the country. I have a supportive council, city council. I have absolutely supportive city management. I have citizens that are fantastic that support us and supported us through a lot of years and a lot of trials and tribulations. I have the best staff in the country, and I feel like the most fortunate chief in the country to have all this support. And so we'll get through this. But I can't stop everything. We can't stop everything, even with a cop on every corner. I will urge a safe city, but we're going to redouble our efforts to make the perception that it's a safe city a reality. Yes, sir.
So I have two quick pieces of information I just missed while writing down. What time was the sneaker shooting again, the third incident?
The third incident was, stand by. Okay, the third incident was 8:31 p.m. So let me go through it again. 7:50 was number one. Number two was 8:13, and number three was 8:31.
And then to reiterate, which one of the incidents resulted in that death? That was the first one?
Which incident was what?
Which one of them had the death? Was that the first one?
Oh, that was number three.
Number three was.
And I got to take you through this progression. As I show up on scene in the area, the second one goes out at 8:13 at the bar, at the parking lot. And then a little bit later, 8:31, number three goes out. And although we were relatively confident that we did not have one gunman at that time with 50, 60, 70 policemen at 8:31 p.m. within a 12-block area, and I'm still having a round shot, and we have some problems. All these calls were basically in front of the policemen, and pretty bold.
And then one question just to wrap up. Obviously, spring break is already a high traffic time of year for Jacksonville Beach or any beach, but especially after the shootings, are you guys planning on having increased patrol, increased officers on the beach as a result of this, kind of in the wake of this?
We're intelligence driven. So let me answer your question first. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to give away my hand. I like it to be a surprise. You can probably bet if you know me that we're going to be doing some things. But with that said, we're intelligence driven. If I go max effort, which is all 70 of my policemen working and call mutual aid, every weekend that we have large groups of juveniles, big bar crowd, a lot of people on the beach, and a lot of people in the city and on the roadways, we will literally be deploying max effort 365 days a year. So I have to let intelligence drive. Like yesterday, we were prepared. I got to let that intel drive our efforts, because just throwing bodies at problems, when you defend everything, you're defending nothing. You're just riding around, burning your officers off and wasting money. So who else? Yes, sir.
Chief, normal festivities going on, if nothing were to happen, that kind of thing. How many officers did you have working the detail? And then with whatever help you were able to get from whoever sent you whatever, how many did you end up with, do you think?
We had probably approximately 15 to 20 officers on duty between extra duty, for instance, at a couple local bars close by, to the detail, to the street people, the people working patrol. Probably 15 to 20. By the time it's ended up, 60, 70 total officers showed up.
Do you guys ever put a guesstimate to the size of the crowd you're dealing with?
No, but all of y'all have been down here on a busy weekend. It could be anywhere from ballparking 5 to 15,000 at any one given time down here on First Street. So once again, and don't forget, we all have limited resources. There's not a police chief or sheriff in this country that wouldn't take more people and more money. But I have to resource allocate just like everybody else does. And don't forget, I have a tax base of 25,000, and I have 100 employees, which is a pretty good sized department for that residence, number of residents and tax base. But I have to police a population much larger. But I am, this is every beach in Florida. Every police chief and sheriff that has a beach in Florida faces the same dilemma of the influx of people. So it is difficult to resource allocate. I have 70 sworn officers, but you got to stretch it over 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, injuries, vacancies, command staff, detectives, and people got to have days off, so it starts to dwindle down. So a lot of people working overtime and extra duty yesterday, and you also have to be careful of that because you're burning people out. Okay, thank you. We're going to wait around after the mayor's here and I'm here. So we're going to end this now. There'll probably be more if we have any follow-up this afternoon, but it'll probably be by press release. If anything major break, we'll notify you and we'll do this again. Thank you.
So guys, that's what we have. So if you are in that area, please share this out. You know, we've got people that are heading in this area, probably holidayers, and it's Florida. So let's make sure that we can share this out and keep everybody safe. So with that said, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me so bright and early, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Dun 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 dun.